It is Tuesday, June 9th, 2020, and you were tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. I realized as I was putting this show together, when I opened yesterday, I actually said Monday, May 8th. So apologies to whoever I confused out there. It was actually not Monday, May 8th. It was Monday, June 8th. But back today on this Tuesday for another round of DIRTRACKR Daily. Had a little bit of racing to talk about from last night, a couple of news items, and then we'll dig into Shane Stewart's season a little bit. So first off, the AllStar Circuit of Champions was at Lawton Speedway in Oklahoma last night, making up for their race last Thursday that was postponed due to weather. Aaron Reitzel and Kyle Larson had split the All-Star shows over the weekend, and you figured both would be fast again last night. Reitzel was the pole sitter for the feature with his teammate Josh Boffman to his outside. It took 3 attempts to get the race started after early cautions for a slowing Zeb Wise and then several cars spinning over in turn 2. Once it settled out though, Reitzel assumed the lead with Larson dropping into second. Reitzel remained out front until lap 12 and Larson slipped by in lap traffic to take the lead. As we've seen in previous nights though, Reitzel would not go away quietly, with the two again trading the top spot over the next few laps. Approaching halfway, Larson was able to gap Reitzel a bit through traffic, but by lap 25, Reitzel was there again and then was able to throw a slider for the lead. Larson then crossed him back over to retain the top spot. Reitzel duplicated the same maneuver again 3 laps later, again with Larson able to cross him back over. From there, the 57 settled in out front for the next 10 laps, but Reitzel made one more charge at Larson over the final 2 laps. It wasn't enough, however, and Larson was able to hold on to win his second All-Star feature in a row. Reitzel ended up second with Danny Dietrich third, Josh Boffman fourth, and DJ Netto in fifth. The win was Larson's 3rd series win of the season and 12th All-Star win of his career. Reitzel was able to increase his lead in the standings to 40 points now with Danny Dietrich in second, Zeb Wise is third, Corey Eliason fourth, and Brock Zierfoss is fifth. The All-Stars are back tonight at Outlaw Motor Speedway, which was originally scheduled for Saturday but was postponed due to weather. The action can be watched live on Flow Racing. If Larson stays out here, I think this is going to be fun over the next couple of nights, couple of weeks to see these guys kind of duke it out. But, you've seen Dietrich kind of sneaking up in there. He's been fast. Eliason's been up here too. I think this isn't going to be a runaway deal for Reitzel this year in the championship. I could see any number of these guys, Dietrich, Eliason, even Zierfoss, and Zeb Wise has been really solid here to start the season as well, even with the lack of experience he has in 410 sprint cars. So it's going to be fun to watch the All-Stars this year. If you're looking for something to watch tonight, you can check that out on Flow Racing. If you're looking for something else to watch, maybe not into the All-Stars or sprint cars, there's one other show on the DIRTRACKR.com daily pay-per-view schedule. Speed Shift has super late models and a full slate of IMCA action from Marshalltown Speedway tonight, so you can check that out with your Speed Shift subscription. A couple other news items. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series announced yesterday that their June 12th and 13th stops at Cherokee Speedway in South Carolina and Smoky Mountain Speedway in Tennessee will allow fans in attendance. It will be the first time the series has raced in front of fans since February. Friday's show at Cherokee is $12,000 to win, and Saturday at Smoky Mountain is $15,000 to win. For those fans that cannot attend, both races have been added to the schedule of the live schedule over at Lucas Oil Racing TV, so you can watch those live online. For more information about the two events, you can visit lucasdirt.com. If you're interested in visiting those racetracks, you can find a lot more information there. Also, after a long hiatus, the NARC King of the West Sprint Car Series announced they will return to racing on Saturday, June 20th at Keller Auto Speedway in Hanford, California. Due to local restrictions, the event will be without fans in the stands, but all of the action can be watched live on Speed Shift. All the usual social distancing protocols will be in place for the competitors at the event. It'd be nice to see those California guys be able to get back racing. I know it's been a little tougher out there than it has been in some of the other states. So hopefully they're able to kind of get some more of these racetracks open. I know Marysville's are actually, raced a bunch. We've talked about some of those shows. But hopefully we can start getting some more of that state opened up and as long as everybody is staying safe. So as they've done several times over the last few years, Tim Kading will again partner up with Jason Sides and his Sides Motorsports team this weekend for a 2-car effort with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series at Knoxville Raceway. Kading has 2 starts so far in 2020, both coming this past weekend at Beaver Dam. He finished 14th and 16th. His last World of Outlaws start in Knoxville came last season in the Knoxville Nationals, where he finished 4th. The World of Outlaws head to Knoxville Friday and Saturday for the Brownells Big Gun Bash. Limited seating is available with social distancing in effect. If you cannot be there, you can also watch live with your Fast Pass over on Dirt Vision. Dirt Vision, again, will have another busy weekend of racing, including that Knoxville doubleheader for the World of Outlaws. And speaking of the World of Outlaws, we've been talking about Shane Stewart some lately. He's had some strong results driving Bernie Stubjan's Indy Race Parts number 71. I wanted to kind of dig into his numbers a little bit over the last couple of years. 2018 was in the was it Larson Marks then or Kyle Larson Racing, the 2-car, and then 2019, moved to CJB and then was out, announced fairly early in the season, in September that he would not return to that car in 2020. And, I was kind of left wondering if maybe his sprint car career wasn't coming to an end. Goes down to Australia, does well down there, and now has an opportunity here to run some World of Outlaws races to start the season. So, the future of him and Bernie is a little unclear at this point. We know they're going to run Knoxville this weekend, but Bernie, obviously has to run Indy Race Parts, which is, a business that he relies on. So, whether or not they'll be able to continue this World of Outlaws run, I think will just depend on scheduling and what Bernie can get done. But there's no doubt that they've been fast here to start the season. And Stewart's saga the last couple of years has been fairly well documented, the moves between the teams and all of the things he's kind of been through. But he's definitely been resurgent this year. He's 4th right now in the series standings behind Brad Sweet, Donnie Schatz, and Logan Schuchart. Stewart started out this season at Volusia with Sides Motorsports. He then jumped in the 71 starting at Knoxville. He had a couple of strong results down at Volusia with the Sides car, and then that first race at Knoxville they finished 16th. But since they finished 16th at Knoxville, they've reeled off a string of 6 top 6 finishes in a row. This is actually going back through the 2018 season. This is by far his longest string of top 6 finishes. The previous longest I could find was 4 races back in the 2018 season that he went finishing in the top 6 that many times. So definitely on a good run of races right now, and something we haven't seen a lot from Shane Stewart here in the last couple of years. But I wanted to kind of dig into his numbers a little bit more. His average finish this season so far is 2.5 positions better than it was in 2019. He's also improved his average start by nearly 5 positions. So obviously a lot easier to finish well when you're starting well. And then, with the World of Outlaws format, it's no secret that qualifying is important, and Stewart has made big gains this season there as well. Last year, his average qualifying position was a tick over 11th. So far in 2020, it's 5.8. So, big gain there. And Stewart has been able to take full advantage of those good qualifying positions through 10 races in 2020. He's finishing in the top 10 70% of the time, while in 2019 he was a top 10 finisher only 47% of the time. And again, so, with the way the World of Outlaws format, goes, if you qualify well, you're going to get set up in a heat race well. As long as you don't, make a mistake in a heat race, you're going to, if you transfer in, you're going to start well in features. You're going to have opportunities to make dashes, all those types of things. So you're going to have, better opportunities to start up front just by qualifying well. And with the big gain he's made this year and the things that him and Bernie are able to do, he's been a lot better to start these features. And I think it's important too, as we look at Shane's numbers and kind of take a look at where he's been the last couple of years. I think it's important to know just how vital driver confidence and team chemistry are. There's no doubt that 2 team and the 5 team, there's no doubt they have good cars and are capable of winning on a nightly basis. Nobody doubts that. The 2 has been really good with Carson Macedo. The CJB bunch has had a bunch of success over the years, has won some big races, did some great things with David Gravel. But I think, obviously not every combination, every pairing is going to work. And Stewart has talked about winning down under this off season as a confidence booster for him. I think you get pretty low as a driver, and we've heard that from so many drivers over the years that if you start finishing poorly with the World of Outlaws, it just happens over and over and over again, and you race so often that it's almost hard to kind of break out of that mentally. So Shane getting opportunity to go to Australia and win some races, he says was big for him. And him and Bernie are just clicking right now. They've been able to jump in and be fast right away, and there's no reason to think that wouldn't continue. Especially this weekend at Knoxville, and especially with the 2 of them having already raced at Knoxville here not that long ago. They're going to have a much better idea of what they're going to need going forward to make that car fast. So I really hope the 2 can find a way to keep making it work out there with the World of Outlaws. They are clearly rolling this season and have some opportunities to win some races and do really well up against the competition this year. So it'll be fun to watch going forward. Hope we get a chance to see them some more. That's the show for today. Hope everybody has a good Tuesday. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe and leave a review. You can also watch the show daily on YouTube and Facebook. You can email the show at info@dirtracker.com, and you can follow along at facebook.com/dirttracker, twitter.com/dirttracker, and the website itself, dirttracker.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler. Don't forget to sign up for the DIRTRACKR weekly newsletter on the site. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for more DIRTRACKR Daily.